guys, this is Tim and Kathy coming to you from Taste Life with Us. And, well, we really just wanted to go over this whole budget thing.
Yeah, we had a big conversation this morning about this, and we thought, I wish somebody would have filmed this and we could have watched it before we became nomads. So we're doing that for you.
So the honest truth about budgets are they really helping you as viewers out there to get an idea of what the nomad lifestyle is all about?
Yeah, nomad budgets are complicated.
Absolutely.
We've looked at a lot of other people's nomad budgets because who doesn't want to know if they can afford this life?
Yeah.
And then we decided to share our nomad budget so that you would know when you look at our life, which, you know, we're a little behind on sharing on YouTube, but when you hear about it on Facebook or whatever, could you afford to do that?
Yeah.
Because before you start out, you want to know if you can afford it. So we've been at this almost 6 months, and it's eye-opening for one thing.
It is.
And
we drink a lot.
Yeah. And the other thing is, as we just put up a video of our month 3 and 4 budget.
Right.
Month 1 and 2 are already been
out
there for a while. We were late with 3 and 4, so we're almost ready to put out 5 and 6, like in another month or so. And they are complicated. And we realized no matter how many people's budgets you look at, including ours, but everyone's, it's complicated because what really is behind the scenes?
Right.
What are the factors that are involved in how this applies to you? And we wanted to talk about that in front of you.
Well, and one of the things you got to consider or think about is your lifestyle.
Right.
You know, you can set any number to be your budget. Mm-hmm. We watch nomads that set their budget at $2,000.
And we don't know how they do it, but they live a great life.
They're happy.
I wish we could figure that out.
We have met nomads whose budget is undisclosed, but is much higher than ours.
Yeah, they live a great life also.
Absolutely.
We wish we had that money. No.
No, we don't. No. We don't. But, you know, it's all about the style and how you want to live. And when you think about it, nomads go anywhere from backpackers to extravagant, right?
Right.
You're never going to see, well, I'm not going to say never, but you probably will never see us on a Viking cruise ship.
No.
Can't afford it.
Yeah.
Right? Also, you're never going to see us staying in a hostel.
No.
I snore way too bad for that.
You do. We're probably pretty desperate.
But all of that's got to go into your considerations for your budget and for your living.
Yeah. So accommodations are the biggest cost of any nomad life.
Absolutely.
And where you are is part of the factor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where you want to travel. If you're traveling Europe all the time, your budget's going to be a lot higher than someone who's mostly in Southeast Asia or more Eastern Europe, say.
So why does that matter with your accommodations? Because you're going to make choices on where you're staying, and you're going to have this floor level of what you can tolerate.
Right.
And you're going to have the ceiling level of what you can afford.
Yes. And within that, there's other factors, like how long are you staying there?
Yeah.
Because if you're only staying a couple nights at a time, you're going to be paying the top rate. If you stay a week, you might get a little bit of a discount if you're on Airbnb. If you stay a month, you'll get a big discount on Airbnb. But what is your travel style? How long do you want to stay? And, you know, we know people who travel pretty quickly, and we're going to be traveling pretty quickly in a couple months. And that it definitely does cost more than when you stay longer periods of time. But some of these people house sit. House sitting saves you a lot of money. We have not dived into that yet because house sitting is also a responsibility, and there's just a lot of things about it that we're not sure is us, and he's allergic to cats, so that limits us a lot.
Right.
But there's those factors. Now, for some people, they hardly spend anything on groceries and eating out, and they cook all the time, and
they don't drink.
Yeah, that's a huge factor. That is why we've started a channel called Cheers with Us.
Because
that's a big part of our enjoyment of retirement. We
Right.
like to go wine tasting. We were talking about we've not really successfully changed our taste in wine and the cost associated with it
No.
much since we left home.
We need to, and I'm sure we will move into that as we get into areas that are a little thinner in the wine category.
Like Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
But right now we're in the wine tasting capital of the world, so why not?
Anyway, welcome to New Zealand.
Yeah. And we were just in Australia going through wine regions.
Absolutely.
So that's part of the most enjoyable part of our retirement. That's our hobby.
Right.
So that is not really that negotiable for us right now.
But it is
in
a
this
budgetary consideration.
Yeah. And so the other important thing to know about budgets, which I'm sure you know, is that they average out over the year. You can't just go month to month to month. But I will say that within that yearly budget, you do have to have a budget for your transportation between these areas, which a lot of nomads don't include.
Right.
So that is an important thing to realize. Another thing is insurance. Some people include that, some people don't. We just charged over $1,000 for travel insurance for the next 6 months, which isn't that bad when you break it down, and it's worth it. But if you're trying to do it for $1,500 a month and you're paying $300 of that in travel insurance,
It gets
that's
a
a
little
big
tight.
chunk. Yeah. Another thing is like your taxes, the money you spend on your kids and your grandkids. There's other things in life that you have to pay for, and these don't make it onto our Nomad budget or anyone else's, but they sure do come out of your bank account, so they're part of your budget.
Right.
And we paid a fortune in taxes this year trying to catch up from working the first 6 months.
God bless Uncle Sam.
So that's a factor.
Yeah.
So there's things that you've got to think about as you do this.
And again, it's all about your style of travel. It's all about what your expectations are. So that's why we kind of turn around and we ask, is this budget stuff that we're doing for you helpful? Because you're taking a look at what our style of travel is, what our Snapchat is.
Which is different
Yeah.
than other people. There's no two people that do it the same. It's not right or wrong. It's just different.
Right.
So you really have to look at your expectations, because if your expectations are a vacation, you're not going to be able to afford to maintain that unless you have quite a bit of money.
Absolutely.
If you're living like on a vacation. But if you're living, so you have downtime and you're cooking at home and things like that, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
So if you're renting cars, that adds a lot.
It does.
To your budget.
But if you're walking, you should be losing weight and being healthy.
And then you also don't need a gym membership.
Absolutely.
Anyways, we hope that this helps a little bit. I know in ours it's confusing because we prepaid a lot of stuff and we splurged on some things, and so our budget's a little confusing.
Wonky.
Hopefully that'll clear up soon because we're almost done with that. But nevertheless, we're only going to share our budget for the first year, and then it's just a hassle to do. But I think you'll get a good idea, and you'll see the first year average out. So keep looking at people's budgets, but also take them with a grain of salt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking time to watch this. We appreciate it, and I hope we've helped you in some way. And let us know, are these budgets really helpful for you? Give us some comments.
Ours and in general.
Absolutely.
Also. And if you're a nomad who publishes their budget, give us your thoughts. We want to know what you think about all of this, because we're definitely not criticizing how other people release their budget. We're super glad they do. And people are very honest and open about it. It's just that there's a lot of variation in circumstances.
Again,
it's all desires.
It's the lifestyle.
Yeah, it's the lifestyle. It's choices.
So we're Tim and Kathy from Taste Life with Us, and thank you for tasting a little bit of our budget concerns.